talking about the bags that you're going to need climbing Kilimanjaro. So the main bag you'll need is a duffel bag, and we took a 90-litre duffel bag with us. The problem that we had with it was as we got up the mountain, as we got a little bit more tired, and as our equipment became more messy, it was quite hard to repack it, particularly as the sleeping bag that we had was quite bulky. So I would suggest instead of a 90-litre bag, get 120 litres, and that way it'll be easier to repack as you go up the mountain. The weight limit, 15 kilograms, will apply either way, but what you'll just find is you've got a bit more slack. This particular bag was awful. The zip part broke up the mountain. The pulleys for the zip snapped off, so I wouldn't recommend this particular one. I'd get something probably from a more reputable brand. It's a real problem if your duffel bag fails partway up the mountain. Moving on to bag separators. So we took bag separators with us. That allowed us to keep separate the cleans from the dirties, but also different types of equipment separate from each other. So for example, base layers, jumpers, hats, gloves. So we could always easily find the different pieces. So these are very cheap. They don't weigh very much. So I'd recommend using some sort of bag separator to keep your things clear and well labelled. We did a lot of research as to what sort of backpack for a day bag to get, and I think we made the wrong decision. So we got a bag that was very ergonomic, it was quite light, and it was very easy to open and close, and that was a big feature that people talked about. It would have been better to get one that was completely waterproof. So these sorts of bags come with some sort of cover that you can use for waterproofing, but the downside is that you don't put them on straight away, things get a bit wet, and so it'd be better just to have a 100% waterproof bag, and there's more and more of those available now. So my recommendation would be don't get a bag like this, get one that's 100% waterproof, and that will be a better choice. And then finally, you'll need some sort of water bag, a water bladder. This was a 3-litre one. It was very cheap off the internet. We did test it before we went because you hear horror stories about these things leaking and being much less useful. The other thing that we chose to do was to use water purification tablets, which we put in once a day as tiny little tablets, just to make sure that the water that was coming off the mountain was fit for drinking. They had pre-boiled it, so it wasn't much of a concern, and of the 19 people that went on the journey, no one actually got stomach problems, so that's not that big a concern, or wasn't on that trip, but we felt more comfortable knowing that there was a water purification tablet in there, sterilising what we were drinking.